I'm Michelle, and I'm a Bowie-aholic.
Hi, Michelle.
Let's start off with, well, first, the first time I ever heard of him, I was like in 10th grade, 1970, and I heard it on the Canadian station. Thank you. And I was just like, this guy sounds really cool. I really like this song. And then when I seen him, it was like this big uproar because he was wild hair and makeup and everything, but he just like he got it. He got what the kids that were misfits, and they fit in with him and stuff. So, and then as he progressed, I mean, he's done so much. He was always ahead of his time. So I got this was for Christmas. Maurice got me. It's one of his gold records, and it's hanging up in my hallway. And then these are some stamps that the
United States?
no, United Kingdom, England stamps. And then this is from Russia. Yeah. Yes, and there's all the different years, different costumes and things he wore. And then this is a actual mold of his face.
Wow.
And this whole thing with the lightning bolt.
Can you lift it?
Is that
and
a
face
plaster
it?
mold?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, like that.
plaster. I'm afraid of dropping it. I hung it up because I'm afraid. The whole thing with the lightning bolt that he was known for, he only really did that for maybe one album, but then it like stuck. So he was considered, Ziggy Stardust was one of the first characters he used to be because he was shy actually. So he would pretend to be somebody else, and that's why he did the Ziggy Stardust. And here's like another one of the dolls. And then I had two of my dogs, Bowie and Diamond, were named after him because he had an album Diamond Dogs. And then now my latest one is named Ziggy after Ziggy Stardust, and this is one of his collars. And he's got a leash to match, but I couldn't bring the leash out because then he would think he was going. This is Legos of him. And a lot of my friends enable me. This was my dear friend Linda gave me this. It's like paper doll. And I also have some stickers. In New York, on the subway, after he died, they had these special passes, and they all had like pictures of him through the years. So one of my friends sent me that. It's a pass.
They really enable your collection.
Oh yeah. On Facebook, I'm sure if anyone sees, I'm always writing because I keep looking at stuff at night, and and it's like, oh well, no one's looking. This is
Yeah, right.
This is a Christmas ornament. That somebody made, I don't know from where. Another friend named Laureen painted the face on this one. And so since he was associated with Space Oddity, I put her in the astronaut outfit. And then I found on Etsy, well, Amazon's a good place where I go, but Etsy's really bad. Got these little tiny David Bowie records, Barbie size.
Oh my gosh.
And then my sister got me this years and years ago, and I didn't think it looked like him, but it was supposed to be him. And then I have to apologize to Joanne. Joanne got me a shirt, Barbie size, with the David Bowie decal, and I can't find it. No, I've been looking. My son put so much stuff in totes and stacked them up, and I was like, eh. Anyways, I got this skirt off of Etsy too. It's got little David Bowie faces.
Wow.
And this was another one off of Etsy. This is from when he was doing Life on Mars, and he dressed like that. And then this one is the one I got from Lori Everton. She repainted his face. I didn't want the lightning bolt. I wanted it to look like him at a certain stage when he was really good looking. And I had pictures of him in a lime green suit. So I had her do that.
She made the suit too?
Yeah, well, she sends it out to somebody. She's gonna make me an imam too, his wife. I just have to come up with some more money. You know how that goes.
She donated to the auction quite often. She does
Yes, and she does a lot of celebrities.
Yeah.
This is, I actually have the life-size one at home, and he sits in various rooms and scares people, but I just...
No, I thought maybe you had him hanging above your bed.
Well, no. I put some next to the bed. And then I got about 10 coffee cups. This is just one of them. And of course,
Oh,
I have to have beer stein. And this has got the Black Star, which was his last album. And he was always, you know, he kept it quiet that he was sick. He died of liver cancer. And he was born January 8th, 1947, and he died January 10th, 2016, 2 days after his birthday. And he set it up where he would have the last couple of years his album come out on his birthday, and he had one come out on his birthday that day, and I remember getting it and listening to it, and it was kind of down, you know, and he knew he was dying, and the whole album had a lot of songs about that, like Look Up Here, I'm in Heaven, and stuff like that. So he always, and then he had one released the year after he died, and it was something about being up in heaven and stuff, so he was always ahead of his time. And I got these teacups, they're candles, and they've got little pictures of him on it. When I was in high school in '73, I went to England, and that was when he was first coming out, and I found this. They didn't have a whole lot of David Bowie stuff, but I found this. I can't believe it's held up after 40 years.
That's really
It's 'cause I
40
never
years
wore it.
old?
I never wore it, yeah. I got these sacrilegious candles. If you're Catholic, don't look. And then this one I got off at Etsy too. It was a really nice artist, and she sent me some other stuff for free. But it's kind of like the whole lightning bolt thing again. Oh, I forgot to look at my clock, Lisa. Oops.
You're doing good, go ahead.
'Cause I did bring my clock, and I was going to look at it. And then I got this little baby outfit, and it says "Cha-cha-cha changes." That was one of his big songs.
Oh.
And a little baby rattle. My family says there's something wrong with you, Mom. So I'm dressing the doll, getting her ready. This is just a rubber placemat that had his thing on it. And then he was in the movie Labyrinth, and there's a big Labyrinth following. So he played Jareth, the Goblin King, and he was like this guy. You can see his face. And the funniest thing about that was he had these really tight tights on, and he had a nice bulge. And so when I went to the movies to see it again, you know, it was re-released. Every time he'd come on, everybody would be woo, laughing and stuff. Then I was looking on Facebook. There was even a Facebook site, his bulge from Labyrinth. Here's another Funko of Labyrinth. And there's a card game and a board game and another one of these guys. Now this one I paid $25 for recently. This one I paid $25 before he died, and now it's going for $300 or $400.
Wow.
So I have to hide this from my son so he doesn't sell it.
Don't tell them what it's worth.
Got a Labyrinth lunchbox for when I'm going to go to school, and a little pill box with the same Labyrinth stuff on it. And again, my wonderful friend James got me this record album, and what I did was I took it to, let's see, was it March, I think it was. We went to see, he had his band that used to play with him, the piano player that was with him for like 40 years, him and a few of the other ones there, and we got to meet some of them, and then I had him sign the album. So I had both of his piano player and one of his guitar players signed it. And then this one is kind of funny. It's a David Bowie playbook, and it's got different cartoons and paintings and things in it if you have some spare time. Let me see what else. I've got some Valentine cards that another sweet friend on Facebook, I says, I wish I could print those up because somebody posted them. Sure enough, I get it in the mail. They sent them to me. Another friend, Alyssa, got me this magazine. And then I'm going to give one away because I have an extra one. So if you guys want to get your pins and put it in a tote bag. This is from that concert that had all the original band members. We had it all signed. And this is a coloring book. And I did have some paper dolls too somewhere, but I couldn't find them. I have a lot more stuff, but forget it. I couldn't carry everything. Yeah, I got it. Here's another couple books, nice books, and James got me that one. And then I got, am I moving this?
No, I did.
Oh, I was like, did I do that?
Table off.
Got some pillows, so you could dream about them at night. And then I got this material. It's supposed to be a scarf, but I just think it's pretty cool material. I don't know.
Yeah, really nice. Before and after.
And oh, and I forgot about my shoes. I got these recently. They're made by Vans, and they're made specifically with his name and logo. So I'm assuming that he gets the money. After he died, so many people got on the bandwagon. You couldn't really get a lot of stuff before he died. Thank you. Yeah, okay, thanks. But then after he passed, all these people are using his name, you know. Oh, and then I forgot I have this book. I'm gonna sit down to read this because my back's different. They asked people to write letters to him, and they were gonna give it to his family after he passed. So I wrote, and they put mine in here. First of all, there's a picture, I don't know if you can see it, of my daughter made this drawing for me for my
Awesome.
birthday a few years back. I sent that in. And hopefully I can read this without crying. All right, David Bowie touched my life when I was in high school in 1970, and I first heard him on the radio. Then when I saw him in person, it was love all over again. I've seen him every time he's toured in Detroit, and was lucky enough to meet him backstage before a Tin Machine concert. He's gotten roses from me and waved to what seemed like only me. My family, parents, and children have enjoyed his music and concerts since he was my life. His music played at my wedding and will play at my funeral. 2 of my dogs were named after him, Bowie and Diamond, and now Ziggy. Most of my wardrobe consists of his face on t-shirts. Whenever I travel to any hard rock cafes, I always ask to see his memorabilia. He's always been there for me. His music and videos are always a comfort, no matter what. He gets us. I just lost my mom a couple weeks before the very sad news that we had lost David. My heart goes out to his family, and I am praying for them all. I even talked to Iman on home shopping. I bought a green purse. I take comfort knowing he is now pain-free and still loving all his fans from heaven. Here is a photo of a painting my daughter made for me. We love you, David, and thank you for giving us such happiness. And I forgot to say too, he's made so many movies too. He's in all kinds of movies. And the last one he did was Prestige, which I don't know if anyone sees it, with Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale. He played Tesla. Yeah. But then he was sick, and he took a break to stay home with his family, and then he never did tour again. So last time I seen him was 2004 at the Palace. We went with my kids, and but he was, I don't know how to explain it. But I hope that you guys enjoyed it. You got any questions?
Questions? Oh, we got lots of them.
Nina?
Margie?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, Margie and Nina?
There's a David Bowie Barbie coming out.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say about that too. It's supposed to be out in June or July, I think.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, and
I know they announced it.
somebody sent me a sneak peek that I wasn't supposed to see, but it's got the lightning bolt on the face.
So it's Ziggy's daughter.
Yeah, I ordered 2 of them. Of course.
Is it on the website now?
No. You know that Papisol or somebody that posts stuff way ahead of time? I don't know what. Margie.
Was David Bowie his real name?
Oh, I forgot that part too. His real name was David Robert Jones. And because when he was coming out, the Davy Jones from the Monkees was popular. Because he started recording like in the late 60s. But Space Oddity didn't become big till they landed on the moon, which was 69, and they played it a lot in England. But then it didn't really become released until like 70, something like that. And then Elton John kind of stole that idea and did Rocket Man, and he wasn't too thrilled about that, but, you know, but he never really had, he only had like a couple #1 hits, Fame with John Lennon and Let's Dance. And he really wasn't into, he didn't really want the notoriety. He wanted just like avant-garde stuff. But, you know, that's what the people remembered him for and wanted him for. And I remember his one album, he was up against Michael Jackson for Thriller. So it was like, he didn't get any Grammys for that one because Michael Jackson took him off. James?
Yeah, I was gonna mention when his song Fame came out, I think it was 72 around there, I really thought, that the song was played on a lot of the African American stations, and I thought it was African American when I first heard it.
Well, he did do a lot of, he called.
And I think he was the first Caucasian person on Soul Train.
Right. Yep,
You know,
yeah.
So, you know,
He did a lot of, like, he had a whole album where he did all soul music and a Philadelphia sound.
Yes.
And all that. And then, of course, he's married to Iman, who's African American.
Right.
And they were married 20-some years, and they have a 20-year-old daughter.
Wow.
And she's 1 month older than me. Not the daughter, his wife.
Michelle, did you tell everybody about how you waited out in the freezing cold for hours
No.
one night to meet him personally?
Well, yeah, that's how I met him. He was with Tin Machine, and he wanted to go back to his roots, so they just traveled in a van, no security, nothing like that. And it was at the State Theater downtown, and he pulled up in the van, and he had his Soupy Sale's 2 sons were in the van with him. So they come out, and then he came out, and it was December 4th, 1991, and it was so cold and snowy, and they wanted to rush him in right away, but I managed to shake his hand and tell him hi, welcome to Detroit and all that, and he was sweet as usual. So.
My crazy roommate who challenged you on your Bowie addiction, but you win. Yeah. She was telling me a story that he didn't really have 2 different color eyes, but the one eye looked different because of an injury he got?
Yes, when he was younger in high school, him and this other guy were fighting over a girl, and the guy punched him in the eye, and it made his pupil dilated permanently. So that's why it kind of looks like that, because the one's bigger.
Any other questions for Michelle?
There's going to be a test.
Well, I think we should give her a good round of applause.